Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of On the Other Line Canada. No one ever said we were just about fishing. So this month is hunting month. Everything about hunting. We have an awesome lineup of guests this month. And we have our first official repeat guest. I make her sound like a repeat offender. We'll have her on in a couple of minutes. Lisa Roper is here to join the show. Darren, I hope you're recovering. Thoughts for you, man. If you need anything, call me. You haven't called me. I'll probably be late delivering it to you anyways. Mr. Yanitsky, happy birthday. Tiffany, welcome to the show. Tell your man I sent his package today. Joel, I see you're in Nova Scotia. Bring back some seafood. I am hungry. Speaking of hunger, the man that can eat 20 cheeseburgers in one sitting. Mitch, how are you?
Good. A little full, but it'll happen after 24 cheeseburgers.
Are they McDoubles or are they singles?
Singles. I'm not greedy.
Really? Are you a Peters guy or a McDonald's guy?
I haven't had Peters for a long time. And now that we have a Red Deer, I think we went there once. I'd probably go for McDonald's before Peters, unless I'm getting a milkshake.
What about fries? Where would you get your fries from?
McDonald's has good fries.
I bet you didn't think I'd put you on the spot, did you?
No, but I'd eat them.
Well, you'd eat anything. Funny story, there are times when I'm trying to really make up for being not such a nice person. I will actually take Marcy to A&W for a burger and McDonald's for the fries.
Oh, yeah? What about the onion rings, though?
Onion rings, well, let's be honest. A&W has the best onion rings, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. There's so many options out there. I'm more of a Burger King guy. I like Burger King.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not into Burger King?
No.
What? Angry Whopper?
Yeah. Makes you angry Whopper later.
I'm more of a I always want to call it Road King, but I know that's a truck stop and a whole nother topic. So let's just see?
I think you're thinking of lot lizards or something. I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, I don't know. Again, that's a whole nother conversation. That's for when this show and our real jobs don't work out. We'll leave it alone. Lisa, I got to ask you, first of all, welcome back to the show, because the first hour wasn't enough torture. We had to bring you back for a second hour.
Well, thank you guys for bringing me back. I'm excited to talk about hunting and fishing and all outdoor things.
What about cheeseburgers?
Okay, we could talk about cheeseburgers.
If you could choose a cheeseburger, where would it come from?
Like if I'm on that unhealthy, like I don't care, calories don't count, it's a Big Mac all the way.
Dang.
Ooh.
Yeah. All the way.
Health kick. Actually, there's a guy, did you see the article? He's had like a Big Mac a day for he holds the world record for 20 plus years. He still has all the wrappers. And he looks fine. He's healthy. He's preserved.
He's probably got a good metabolism.
Probably. My body would reject it. Done.
Yeah. Marcy's got the metabolism. She can eat 2 pizzas and lose 10 pounds. Oh. Anyways, I'm not that lucky. Everyone here is saying Burger King. If you had fries, where would they be from, Lisa?
Oh, honestly, again, if I'm doing it, I'm going to McDonald's. I mean, they do have the best fries.
You can't go wrong with McDonald's fries. Happy meals for everybody. Well, how has your fishing season been wrapping up, Lisa? I know you got a lot on the go.
I do.
Have you been out fishing much?
I've been out a little bit. I did just get back here a couple weeks from Cree Lake Lodge in northern Saskatchewan. Amazing, unbelievable. Completely caught. I mean, I've never caught a Arctic grayling, so that was great. Caught a whitefish. Caught some trophy Lakers and some big pike. So it was a really successful trip. And,
now, I know this is a hunting show, but I'd be interested to know, if you're to compare catching a grayling to any other species, what is it most comparable to?
Oh, wow. I mean, it has the fight and the attitude and the acrobats, you know, kind of like a pike, but it doesn't have the weight and but I love just the show they put on, both under the water and obviously surfacing.
It's weird. I seem to be asking this every week, and everyone has a different response, and it's kind of cool actually to know those that have caught grayling compared to those that haven't, what they find. I already know where Mitch stands, but
I don't even remember what I said.
What?
You what?
I don't even remember what I said.
Well, it was later in the show, and we know how much you have a tendency to overdrink water that come the end of the show, you know, H2O overload.
No, it's probably Rocky Mountain whitefish.
Yeah.
You just had a sail on it.
But smells like a pike.
No.
Not greasy enough.
Wow. I'm really taking the show down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fishing, Lisa, we did post it on our page about half an hour ago, and you've got a little bit of a competition going on, interprovincial. Why don't you tell us about what's going on and how people can go check that out?
Absolutely. So Big Sky Flies and Jigs has teamed with Fish On, and they're doing an interprovincial tournament. It's on September 19th, and it's 5 hours. So really short period of time to try to get it all together. But you can vote for your favorite team, your province, whatever it might be, on Big Sky Flies and Jigs Facebook account as well as their Instagram account.
That's amazing. Now, 5 hours, are we going quantity of fish or quality of fish? How is that going to be determined?
Actually, this one they're going to do is weight. So the top walleye weight after the 5 hours will win the tournament.
Wow. Do you have a goal?
Always have a goal.
Is that top secret?
That's 15, top secret.
15 pounds.
We'll see.
11.3.
11.3. And Mitch is putting $500 on it, right, Mitch?
Yeah, maybe.
I like these little size.
11 pounds, we're talking like 30 inches.
Oh, that'd be like 31.
31.
Like a hefty 31.
Mine was about 9 pounds at 26 inches that I caught the other day.
A stubby.
But I could catch 20 of them at 3 pounds.
Oh, it's total weight then.
Total weight.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be, it's almost like the how they do it in the States with like the bass competitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and I mean, Alberta's up against, I mean, yes, I believe in our fishery and I think it's great, but I mean, let's be honest, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario all have amazing fisheries and solid walleye. So I think it's going to be a good battle.
You can take them.
Thanks, Mitch.
We got a lot of good legs.
Yes.
As I'm making background noise, don't worry about that. That's just a fan on the garbage can. That's all good. Is there a minimum size? Like, we're talking overall weight. So do they have you limited to a minimum size, or is it just going to be a free for all?
Yep. Weigh everything you catch.
Wow. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
You're going to be wore out after 5 hours.
I'm just hoping, honestly, like, because, there's that pressure and it's probably one of my first. It's like, please just let me catch a walleye.
Now, obviously, you're going to have a game plan in place.
Yes.
How prepared are you? Like, are you going with 20 different rods with 20 different setups, or do you feel like you're going to just focus on 2 or 3 kind of approaches? Like, have you thought that? Obviously, you've thought that far ahead, but how extreme are you going? Like, are you having to go stock up?
I'm pretty good, but I will have 6 rods ready to go. And, so I can quickly change technique, or maybe, for an example, one of my favorites are, thanks, Chelsea. One of my favorites are Len Thompson lures, spoons, but I have 2 favorites for walleye. So, obviously if I'm using one, the other one's going to be ready to go. I like to jig. I like to bottom bounce. what else can I tell you? Some Rapala, some jigging wraps. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
You're gonna do awesome. You have all of our support. Again, go check it out. 5-hour competition. She'll be wore out, but she's gonna be ready.
Totally. Well, I hope so. Yeah.
You'll do good. Just make sure you got all your searchers, then your seekers, then your soft stuff.
Yep.
It'll work good.
You mentioned Len Thompson. What's funny is I've never used a Len Thompson to fish for walleye. I did it this week and it worked well. So you'll do just fine. Awesome. So go on. Cheer Team Alberta. I can't even talk tonight. Cheer on Team Alberta. There, I said it slow enough. Lisa, you're going to do awesome. We can't wait to see how well you do. Let's move into hunting because that's what you're back for. And you give us a list of topics. The coolest one I thought, now I don't know your wolf hunt. Now I'm interested to know the picture you had in the intro video. Was that the wolf you were after?
No, sorry. Yes, I had to think about that picture. No, that's a different.
On the spot.
Yeah. No, my son and I actually went up to Panther Ridge and we did a wolf hunt together before Christmas 2 years ago, and we weren't successful. We didn't actually even have a wolf come in. So yeah, we have goals, and so we decided to go back, and we went back at the end of the end of January, and we were super lucky. We came in that morning, got set up, and just as the sun was rising, there was 2 wolves sitting on the bait. One bolted and the other one stayed, and it was absolutely amazing memory to share with my son. And you know what? Honestly, the kid's like 15 years old at the time, and to have to sit in a little ground blind about this big, like we're touching elbows for 12 hours a day, right? We get there at 5, 6 in the morning, and you're not leaving till 6:30. And then we go back to the cabin and we eat, and then we're sleeping together, talking together. Like, poor kid. But it was amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal wolf hunt, and I would do it again.
You mentioned the time you have to invest in it. Obviously, wolves are not exactly stupid when it comes to the animal world. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, sitting there waiting for them, bait and stuff like that. Is there calls? I'm zero knowledge of wolf hunting. Any calling, anything like that involved?
I don't know if there was in this area, but you can hunt over bait. Obviously, that's allowed. I would think in the area we were in is that there probably was, because there's such a nuisance or trouble, such a huge predator in that area, right? They've taken down so much of the elk population, and moose. Even the whitetail and muleys are being affected. They're going much higher up, and just a lot of trouble. But yeah, going back to investing the time, in total, I think we were there 8 days, 12 hours a day. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Wow. What's that, Mitch?
It's putting in the time.
Yep.
Wolves are a cagey creature.
You think hunting for fish is a lot of time? Hunt for wolves.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Mitch.
We call them.
Oh yeah.
We don't set out bugs because unless you're an outfitter or a trapper, you cannot. Right. In the areas we hunt. So we have to call them. It's all mouth calls, and you can have your electronic call as long as it's not a certain animal, like a fawn in distress, etc. It can be some sort of bird call and stuff, but it can't be cow, elk, fawn, etc. on that side, like a game animal. Mm-hmm. But we've had success bringing them in.
That's awesome. Yeah, we called, but no success actually calling and saw them come in. I mean, you kind of figured that they were on the outskirts, because when all the eagles and bald eagles and all that were on the carcass, all of a sudden they take off and flare up, and so you kind of knew something was in the background. But man, you can't even move. Like, everything is just so still and soft moments.
They're on super high alert at all times, right?
Oh yeah.
So, Mitch, do you sit at home and practice your wolf calls like by yourself, or are you sitting in the living room and Aaron has to listen to you? No,
we just do their calls. You don't got to practice them.
You just you don't practice in your truck.
No,
I'm actually
just an elk call. That's an elk call thing more than anything. I'll practice my elk diaphragm calls in the truck, but other than that, wolf calls is just the tube. It's just a predator, and just make it scream. That's all you gotta do.
I was trying to put Mitch on the spot in case he didn't notice, Lisa, in case he had like some closet wolf call that he practices in the truck on the way to work. Like,
the wolf pack.
The wolf pack.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering what your wolf call really is like. You probably have some weird, crazy. Oh, he's
no.
I don't think I got
one.
You don't need equipment to be able to do that, Mitch. I can already tell by the grin on your face. Yeah. You sure?
No.
Lisa, I think we could convince him, couldn't we?
I think we could. Come on, Mitch.
Yeah.
Nope. That's the wrong answer.
What if I said I'd never call you a third wheel again?
I don't think you do anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you catch up on that yet.
No.
Now that you have wolf off the list, Lisa, do you have plans on going back to attempt it again, knowing how long it took time investment wise, or is your focus in different areas for this year in particular?
My focus is in different areas, definitely this year and probably for the next couple years. I mean, if an opportunity came up, I definitely would never turn it down. But, you kind of check mark and you want to keep going. And I love putting in the time. I mean, that's the part about hunting that I love so much, right? It's not just about the kill. It's the adventure, the memories, the learning and growing and becoming a better hunter. I mean, that's really what it's all about. So that part's great. But yeah, I have a few other things I want to accomplish this year.
Yep. Anything in particular you want to share?
Yeah, so I'm going to do my first waterfowl hunt this year up in Saskatchewan. So I'm really pumped about that because other than when I was a little kid going out with my dad and my uncles, I mean, I didn't have a gun, just would enjoy the adventure. So now this is going to be pretty great, being my first. And a little nervous, but super excited. And again, just can't wait to learn and grow and hopefully be successful.
What is your plan as far as waterfowl? What are you using for a firearm for targeting them?
You know what? I'm going to say I don't know because I'm not going to actually bring mine. So I'm just going to use whatever Ryan gives me.
Sounds like what I did the first time I did waterfowl.
Right. I mean, you could bring your own and do all that, but at the end of the day, they're the pros and that's what I want to learn from. And so, yeah, I'll just leave it up to Ryan from Apex Waterfowl in Saskatchewan.
Nice.
The reason I don't hunt them is because I don't know what it is. Does anyone get creeped out by eating duck? I get told I'm crazy.
No,
Mitch is shaking his head. Lisa's shaking her head, so I am crazy.
As long as it's not like a... Just don't eat a mud duck. Mud ducks aren't good.
I don't know, man. There's something about the taste of duck. Maybe I just need to...
No. How did you cook it?
I didn't. I'm just saying in general, there's something about duck that I don't even know. I like duck fat fries. Does that
Where'd
count?
You get those?
Yeah.
Have you never had duck fat fries?
No.
I don't remember the name of the restaurant off the top of my head, but I tell you what, they were awesome.
Yeah, duck fat's amazing.
I don't know. I will think about that name. As usual, it's at the end of my tongue. It's downtown Calgary. Maybe they're not there anymore. I'll get back to you on that. I know that was good. But there's something about Dino's even saying he doesn't like it, so he's obviously crazy too. I don't know if it's gamey taste with meat. I seem to be like that a lot. I wasn't like that when I was younger, but maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah, probably. You have to cook it like medium rare You don't want to overcook duck, or it's not delicious.
Well, I eat my chicken medium rare, and I seem to be fine. So,
yeah, okay.
medium rare duck. So, how are we talking preparation? Like oven roasted?
It just depends how you're cooking it. Like, are you doing a breast with skin on? Or are you doing it like a roast? Or there's so many different ways to prep all this amazing meat.
Yeah, maybe the one time. Did you say tacos? Oh, I like the sounds of that. Duck tacos?
Duck tacos. It's amazing.
Okay, Lisa. Well, you let me know when you're back, and I'll come over for duck tacos because that just that caught my attention. Aaron's saying slow cooker. Valid. Yeah. I might try it. Dino's saying as well. It finds it bitter. So you're right. It's obviously a preparation more than anything. Maybe you guys hunt for them this year, and I'll try to eat them and see if I can become a fan. The problem with it for me is, though, I'll become a fan and then have to buy a whole bunch of hunting gear to be able to accommodate hunting ducks.
And that's the addiction of hunting.
You're doing pheasants this year, you said, right, Mitch?
Yeah, we always do. We do a lot of pheasant hunting.
Do they taste like chicken?
Oh, they're better than chicken.
Better than chicken.
Well, yeah, they're white meat as well.
I would come with, but you already invited Lisa, so I guess we'll just kind of leave that at that.
I don't know. I don't know if there's enough pheasants to feed you out there.
Yeah, I mean, a pheasant would feed what, maybe one person?
No, they're good size. They're like a average chicken, but they're just a little leaner, right?
Same and all the ones. Ducks are like one person meal.
If you get a big mallard.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try it. Maybe Dino and I will have to come up for fish tacos. Thanks for the invite, Lisa. At least you invite me to come out and try stuff.
Absolutely. Fish tacos, duck tacos.
I think what doesn't go well in a taco. This is going from the hunting show to the food show. Now I'm getting hungry.
Nothing is bad in a taco. Burritos.
Burritos. Scott's saying emu. No, I'm out on emu.
Tacos. There's so many.
I think you can taco-fy anything.
Probably.
I don't even know if that's a word. Taco-fy.
I think that's a fact, though.
It's a what?
I think that's a fact, though.
Oh, a fact. Elisa, do you have any? Did you put in for tags or anything this year?
No, I 9'd everything this year, but I'm hoping to do a elk hunt in the beginning of October for general archery. So I'm kind of pumped about that, and then of course whitetail hunting will still happen. Started doing a little sitting and scouting and checking and trail cameras and good stuff.
Now for elk, is that bull or cow?
Bull.
For bull. Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
Are you hunting farmland, foothills, or mountains?
More farmland.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is an abundance of them now.
There isn't? Is that what you said?
No, there is on the farmland. It's crazy.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get in close enough and be able to have a good, successful shot.
Now, obviously, with the area you're hunting, it's probably a place where you have to have permission a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I have permission, and I'm looking so forward to it. And haven't been out there yet, but I've been sent a few pictures from the farmer, the landowner. So.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it's probably a lot of work. Was it a lot of work for you to be able to get permission on land? How do you find typically it is? I mean, obviously, hunting no different than fishing. We're getting into the season where it's going to be a lot of pressure, probably a lot of people not following the rules. Do you hear of landowners being a little bit reluctant to even want to give people access to their property?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's people out there that are, pretty great because they haven't had a whole lot of hunters on their property, but the people that have had quite a bit, there's not everybody is conservation, number one. And so a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing is people are taking out what they brought in, just leaving things kind of a mess instead of cleaning up. The farmer will say, well, can you stick to the side of the bush? And then they're cutting across the field. Just or crossing, like, you get a certain area, you're said, please stay in this area, and then they're crossing the fence into the neighbors. Now the neighbors are upset. I mean, there's a lot. And to ask for permission, never, or at least for me, I don't know about everybody else here, but it's never just go to the door and, hey, can I have permission? It's about building a relationship and building trust and sharing what you know and taking the time.
Yeah. Scott actually brought up a pretty valid point that I never thought about. Are there times, and Mitch, you might even be able to chime in on this, are there times where maybe a private landowner would prefer that you're shooting bow versus firearm?
Yeah.
There are certain areas, like if you're close to a homestead or something and you want to hunt that patch of bush, they'll ask you to strictly bow. There are certain people that have told me bow only.
Yep.
It's just they're concerned about where you're shooting across their field, right? If your homestead's at the far end and you're on this corner patch and you kind of have that range to shoot towards them, they just don't feel comfortable. And sometimes, like, just when you meet them, they don't feel comfortable, but over years you can build that trust to get that, so they know you're going to take that accurate shot and not shoot towards a house or something. Absolutely. If they don't know you, they don't know you, right?
Right. And that goes back to building the relationship. It's so important. And for yourself too. Like, it's important, they kind of know when you've gone through the yard, and hey, if you're not back, are they coming to look for you? It's a good relationship if you can do it right.
Yeah, for sure.
Have either one of you ever, I know when I was doing it, it's been a few years, but I used to look at the iHunter app, and in there you can go on the maps and it would show you the different sections. And if the landowner was okay with their information being on there, you could contact them that way versus just trying to track them down or show up, which I thought is a pretty awesome initiative for sure. But like you said, Lisa, meeting them in person to build that relationship probably goes a long way.
Absolutely. For me, that it's not a phone call. It's and also too, in a lot of the areas I hunt, it's somebody knows somebody, so it's a place to start usually. I don't want to say it quite that way, but as a female, you got to be careful. You don't want to just go knock on a door and be like, hey, can I go hunt? And especially if you're doing it solo. So you definitely want to make sure that somebody knows somebody and you have some other connections and go from there.
You bring up the whole female angle with hunting. Do you find that some of the struggles are very similar to what we talked about previously in fishing? Like, is there kind of a barrier there per se between, male versus female, a little bit of intimidation that way?
I don't know. Maybe ask me the question differently, because I'm not sure.
Are all men stupid? Because I think they are. Is that better?
No, God, no. There's definitely a stigma, right? Yes, it's changing. More and more women, thankfully with social media, we're seeing more women. There's more pages for women for hunting. So, it's definitely changing, but it's so, there's just still some comments or some situations where it's like, oh, so who was with you, or you went hunting by yourself? Yeah. Did you really? Like there's those things. And, oh, well, who helped you, skin it or whatever. And it's like, no, I did that. But, you just smile and nod, what you've done and or, oh, it must be nice to have a hunting partner with your husband. And it's like, yes, it is great to be hunting with my husband, but I do most of it on my own. So yeah, it's still there.
It's kind of like the old adage, judging a book by its cover, right? I could show up and know nothing about hunting, so it would be unfair for someone to assume, okay, well, this dude knows what he's doing. Because I'll tell you what, I really don't have a clue when it comes to that. And you mentioned the cleaning. I'm going to be honest, I would probably much rather do the shooting than the cleaning. I'm not a fan myself. It's probably why I don't hunt a whole lot. Mitch is shaking his head at me for sure. But yeah, I mean, do not judge a book by its cover. You don't know what you're dealing with. Do you just say it's the legend Lisa Roper? That's what I imagine.
No? I don't even say my name. But it is funny, like if I'm with a male counterpart, obviously there's times I'm hunting, with family or a friend, a male family or friend, and we come upon somebody, there's not even eye contact with me. It's straight to the guy, right? So you just sit back and you listen and you watch, and it's all good. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a hard thing to change. Do you think there's things we could be doing? Because in my mind, a lot of it is generational. That, that's just the way it was in the old days. That's the way it is today. Do you think that avenues such as social media are helping that or hurting that?
I think avenues like social media are definitely helping to tear down walls, right? That's my little catchphrase saying is I like to tear down walls and build people up. And I definitely think the more you see women doing it, the more you see women sharing on, these groups and stuff. And a lot of them aren't just sharing to share, they want to tell the story. And so again, you're still learning and growing, and oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that next time. Or, so I think the more that women do it and the more that we continue to show up and make a difference, then I mean, we're on the right track, right?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
We were talking before the show about your experience last year, and I still can't wrap my head around how you pulled this off. 2 bucks in 2 weeks in 2 provinces. How wore out were you after that extravaganza?
I was super wore out. I can't lie. I might have crashed for a little while because so I had hunted most of October and November, and I was after this particular buck. I named him Alberta Boy. And so for 4 years, he's been hanging around and been waiting, and I missed my shot on him. So Lisa had a real, actually I drew back my bow, and I guess there's a thing, what's it called? Where the string came off the cams. I tilted it, or what's that?
Oh, when he tilted, your string came off?
Yes. And I mean, it's never happened to me, but obviously my buck adrenaline, I mean, 4 years of seeing him and 13 yards, holy heck. Like, I don't think I was prepared for all of that. So, anyways, I was so disappointed. I might have sat in the tree stand for 2 hours, really just working through everything I had to work through.
Yeah.
And I know that's hunting, and just like it is fishing, but when you have a goal and you set that goal. So then I quickly had to, actually at that point I didn't. I kept hunting him, but then I went and did my solo hunt in the mountains for 6-7 days, whatever it was. When I came back, we're now kind of at the beginning of November, found out my neighbor took my buck. Not really mine, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And anyways, so then I had to refocus. Like, was I going to give up hunting? Like, am I hanging my gun up and saying I'm done? And no, I wanted to finish the season strong. So I took it on. Oh man, I hunted hard. Like, we're talking minus 25. I'm in the homemade ground blind that I did on my own, minus 25. And this beautiful buck walks out at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and one shot, down he went. And it was awesome, like so awesome to finish the season strong. And he's a beautiful buck. I mean, his brow tines are, I think it was 12 and 13 inches each, something like that.
Huge.
Yeah. So and in the area that I hunt, the brow tines are quite a bit smaller. So this was also kind of wow, this is amazing. So, finished it all up, cleaned it up, hauled it home. And then I was talking to Rob Dunham, and he said, hey, actually, we were just chatting about hunting, and he started quizzing me about hunting over bait for whitetail. And I said, I have never done it. And next thing I knew, the following week, I was driving to Saskatchewan for my whitetail hunt in Saskatchewan. And day 3, and I dropped my buck. So I was thrilled, and thrilled because as a family we love the meat, we eat it, and we make sausage and jerky and all that great stuff. So it's, and just the success of the experience. It took a little while. The first day I had a really nice buck come in, and I didn't shoot in Saskatchewan because it was over bait, and I had to get through some things because as an Albertan, I've never hunted over bait, and so I didn't know how I was feeling, and is this right? Is this okay? How do I feel about this? And so then the next day, that bigger buck didn't come back, and on day 3, he came in the morning, and yeah, it was good.
I would probably feel the same way when you mentioned baiting. Like, it's a whole different system you're not used to, so you kind of feel a little bit guilty, right?
Well, we've been taught in Alberta, or at least this is my opinion of it. We've been taught in Alberta that it's wrong, that it's not right. We can't do it. It's illegal, right? So then you just kind of drive 2 hours and it's okay. And so, yeah, it was kind of wrapping your brain around it. And, but, I'll say it's not as easy as everyone thinks. Oh, I'm just going to hunt over bait. You show up and you shoot a buck. I mean, it's still, all the stuff is important, right? Scent control and wind and making sure you're quiet and you're doing your thing. Lots of animals came in, but I didn't shoot, right? And that's the great thing about shooting over bait, is that you can be choosy and you can take your time and have an absolutely ethical shot.
Yeah. Taking your time, which is the most important part. I want to go back a little bit because we know I don't like stirring the pot on the show.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But I'm just wondering, with your neighbor, was it friends off, or did you guys just work through it?
Well, actually, he's a neighbor, but we don't really know each other, or we didn't.
Oh, okay.
And the strangest thing, we had brought him over to do a little bit of work. He's a welder, and he's like, oh, hey, you hunt, and yeah. And he goes, well, I want to show you this buck I got.
Oh.
Ooh.
I kid you not. It's like all the energy drained from me. And I'm trying to be like, Lisa, be professional. Say congrats.
Hulk smash, so right?
It's kind of awkward. And he's like, everything okay? I'm like, congratulations. That's a beautiful buck. And I walked away. And I might have taken a day. And then I figured out he's on Facebook. So I messaged him and I said, hey, sorry. Here's some pictures of him in the last 4 years. I just was a little sad, but I'm very happy for you. Congrats.
You know what amazes me with you, Lisa, and I know we've talked about this before, is your positivity of being able to push through. Because I would have some colorful conversation with this gentleman. Mitch is laughing. Mitch knows. Good for you for keeping your head up, but man, that's gotta hurt. That would hurt my feelings. It'd be a little bit sad.
Yell at your neighbors for shooting a free range animal, Todd. You could
doesn't matter, man.
Upset, but
Lisa put in the time. 4 days.
4 years.
4 years. 4 days, 8 hours. 4 years, Mitch.
4 years. And I probably put in 30 days last year on him. But you know what? At the end of the day, I missed my shot. And so good on him for taking it and being successful. And I'm super proud of him. Now we share pictures and it's great. But yeah, when I missed, I torqued my bow. That's what it's called. And the string came off. I cried. I was so disappointed in myself. I have high expectations and I set goals for a reason. And yep, I broke down.
Especially for the amount of time that you put in for something like that to happen. All that, again, it's a totally different world. All that time and effort and bow. I've practiced with bow a little bit, but I can't even imagine the hours. And Mitch, you bow hunt too, right? So I can't even imagine the hours you guys have to put into practice alone. I told you before the show, Lisa, I get buck fever, right? Just all over the place. So I'd be no good with a bow. I'd just be, breathing is not my strong point, but
That's what I was so disappointed. That's something I had to work through. Like when my buck came in, I actually didn't even bring up my bow or nothing. I was just so honored to watch him.
Yeah.
And he just kind of hung out. He was just kind of walking back and forth, and I was like, this is great. And then I brought my bow up and I thought, I'm so calm. This is beautiful. And then I don't know what the hell happened.
Seems to be just the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? It'll make me work harder next time. And
yeah, hunting something. It's crazy how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
now, both being into bow hunting, is there any tips you guys would have as far as if someone is wanting to get into it? I have enough hobbies, so I won't be getting into it. But if people want to know more about it, what is the best way to go about it? I mean, it's like so many sports. There's a lot of options, right?
Oh, definitely.
My number one option or advice is to go to your local archery store. And I went to Jimbo's in Edmonton. Fabulous guys, love that store. And they will fit you for your bow, because that's first and foremost. You want to make sure that you know what your draw length is and your draw weight. And then from there, once they had that, for me, they just kind of put out, I don't know, 8 different bows, and I just started shooting. And I think it was about the 6th or 7th. I'm like, whatever this is, I want it. Like, I just knew the minute I drew back, everything felt right.
Yeah. Feels smooth. Like if you're getting into it, like at a younger age, get a bow with a lot of range. So you got lots of draw length and weight range. Like I think Bowtech makes one, Diamond makes one that can go from like 30 pounds to 70 pounds. Yep. And from 25-inch draw to a 31-inch draw. And
I need a 63-inch draw. I already know that.
Well,
this is how it goes.
I think they make a stick and rope for you.
Recurve. That much I know.
Well, we got one right here, but this one you probably you probably can't use this one because it's too short too. It's only a 50-inch.
Yeah, I need like an 800-inch. Should it not feel almost like an extension of the hand? I'm interested to know. Like in my mind, it should feel almost like you have nothing there, right?
Well, and that's like for me when I tried all the different bows and then I just knew instantly, is because everything from drawing it back to the release was just like Mitch said, it was smooth. It just felt like, there's kind of nothing there. You just anchor up and away you go. And I mean, we finished the couple bows that they had, but no, I stuck with the Hoyt.
Well, yeah, once you find that one, it's just everything fits. Like it locks back. If you're shooting a compound, once that cam comes over, you feel that lock and it's just holding good. Your draw length's good. And when you shoot it, you just got that perfect hand feel. The bow has that weight. Sometimes like it'll just fit perfectly. It'll tilt just a little and it's just one motion. You kind of feel all through yourself. And it's amazing.
I'm interested to know, like, what kind of price range are we talking here? Because now I'm kind of getting intrigued, but the price could vary for me.
It can vary quite a bit.
Yeah.
Talking like $150?
If you go get a little stick and string.
Okay. Shoestring?
But if you're looking for like your average starter bow, I'd say around $400 or $500.
Okay.
Equipped with sights, release, and everything. Usually somewhere in there.
And then obviously, like as far as rules, like it's preferred that you're at a range for practice. Like, is there rules in place as far as, I guess, more personal rules than anything, or It's not like, for example, handguns, right?
No, but at the end of the day, it's still a weapon, and so treat it as such, right?
Right.
If you live in town and you want to shoot in your backyard, probably not smart. Because
No
I mean, if
apples
I
on the head.
fence, right, that little opening and hit somebody else, probably not good.
Well, Marcy, I know you're not watching tonight, so congratulations. We just got couples bows coming in. I'll find storage someplace to hide it. The cool thing you brought up, and I know you want to talk about it, Lisa, is spy point trail cams. I love watching trail cam footage. What have you found is the biggest advantage for you using such a product? I mean, obviously we know the purpose of it, but what's your experience been like using them?
So I would say that the number one purpose why I use them is because it's a win-win for both myself and the animal, right? I put up my trail cameras, and a lot of them I don't go back for 3 or 4 months. So especially if the pictures are coming to my phone, then I can just quickly look and see what's happening. But again, I'm not disturbing the area, not leaving my scent there. The animals are able to stay longer and not feel threatened, which also leads to I believe, a better hunt when you are ready to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these systems are pretty user-friendly as well, right? Are their Wi-Fi connectivity and all that kind of stuff nowadays?
Yeah, they're super easy to use. And I mean, honestly, you just buy a monthly plan with SpyPoint, and they take care of the rest. And,
oh, wow.
And they do have a free plan. I think it's 250 pictures a month, but depends where you are. Sometimes that's gone in a couple days, but yeah.
Don't put him on a bear bait.
Sorry?
Don't put him on a bear bait.
Yeah, no. Yeah, between the bears and the birds. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, and I think for me too, like the other thing is where I normally live, mostly in Sherwood Park, to my hunting area can be 3 to 6 hours away. So again, I'm saving so much on gas and time. My time's worth something too, that I'm not driving to go check them, or, if it's like you said, Mitch, if I'm doing a bait barrel for bears, again, I'm not having to go there. The camera can be set up to tell me that the bait's down or low, and I'm not making unnecessary trips.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's a huge asset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dying to know, did anyone see Kyle Stevens' deer that he got on a trail cam?
Yeah, I saw it. That John Deere tractor.
John Deere? I couldn't.
I saw that picture.
It says, look at my deer, and there's a John Deere.
Oh, got it. Sorry. Okay.
Trust me, Lisa, you weren't supposed to get it because it's about the lamest joke I've made on the show.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I thought it was cool because I saw something shiny.
Okay.
Mitch is just shaking his head. It was a John Deere. Like, how cool is that? Let's see a John Deere.
Mitch got it right away. Lisa, not so much.
That's because Mitch and I are crazy.
I saw the joke.
Okay.
Keep in mind, Lisa, on this show, you're not the crazy one. That's my job.
Okay, good.
Seeing as we're on the topic of bow hunting, I'm curious to know, does the safety gear requirements really change outside of firearms? Like, obviously, Hunter Orange is super important. Anything else from a safety gear perspective that maybe people that just like to pull the trigger don't think about?
There's a lot of different things for yourself, like personal safety. Like, you can get arm guards. Like, when you're first starting, you should probably get an arm guard, because just when you're figuring out like how you're going to shoot, like now that I've shot for a long time, I shoot a shorter draw length just to keep a good bend in my elbow, just due to my brace height's so short because I shoot speed bows.
Yep.
So you got that brace height, you kind of got to stay away. But if you're starting, like, people don't know, and they like kick out their arms or straight arm shoot, and you'll have a goose egg right up your arm. I've seen it numerous times taking friends shooting, and you let them shoot a few times just to teach them. Then you say, yeah, okay, we'll do this the other way.
Lisa's nodding her head. Obviously, you've had a couple bruises and blows to the arm, have you, Lisa?
Oh, yeah, when I first started, I mean, you do it once. Okay, that hurt. You do it twice, you ain't doing it again.
Actually, funny story. You do it twice, you do it a third time in my scenario. It's probably why I'm a little bit shy of the bow. The arm guard that the person had that I borrowed, because a bunch of dudes, hey, I bought a bow, this would be cool. I had to use like a long sleeve shirt. And yeah, I didn't get the hang of it the first 3 times. It took me another 3 times. And yeah, my arm was black and blue for quite a while after learning that one. Probably why I've not gotten into bow hunting.
And there's other things that are important with safety with bow hunting, right? There are people who don't tie off when you're up in your tree stand. So important. But I think it's probably one of the most missed safety things you can do for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like hands down. Keep it high, like get a harness, not just like a belt waist thing. Like I'll put mine high because some days when you're sitting, you'll sit for, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours, eat a sandwich and sit all day. And for sure you're going to have a nap at some point, and that's going to hold you for a second.
Fair enough.
Is it not a requirement that you have to be tied off? Like, is there not any kind of legal situation there stating that you have to be tied off over a certain height doing that?
No, this isn't OH&S. It's so hard to regulate, right? Like they can't just fly in and be like, hey, where's your harness?
So it'd really be considered more of a better safety practice than it would be anything else.
It's a thing that you should do. Like if you don't do it, you're taking your life in your hands, and you should be doing it. Yeah, it's ridiculous not to do it because everyone gets tired every once in a while. You're sitting in nature, in the fresh air, waiting for something to happen. Sometimes you get a little sleepy.
Aaron put it the best way, no seatbelt laws. Maybe it's the city boy in me that could be proof. So here's a scenario I'll run past both of you because this is how city boy I am with this topic. Tree stand, you're tied off. You fall off. You're by yourself. What is the process of recovery? Do you swing around to a step, or are you prepared for other means? I mean, obviously you're not going to want to hang off a tree all day.
No, you're not going to want to hang off a tree all day. It all depends on how you fell or you know what's happened.
This is how I think, Lisa.
Right. Okay. Well, you do have, you know, your extra ropes with you. I always carry a knife with me. I mean, depends on the situation. I'm not going to say it, but depends on the situation. If it ever happened, you know, you want to be ready and prepared for whatever fall it might. What if you fall upside down? I mean, now what are you going to do, right? So using your extra rope or, you know, if you're not too high up, maybe cutting and Mitch, what else can you add?
Yeah, the good thing with the harness, it's usually like right at the back of your neck, just like any industrial harness. So you're always going to fall and be held by there. So you can just reach around the tree loosely because you'll have control. And as long as you keep those waistbands tight, like you want to have it so you have like 2 finger between your belt and your legs as a firm thing. Because if you have too much slack, you're going to hurt something down there. And you don't want that, and your blood circulation can get cut off the longer you sit there.
Yeah.
So as long as you tighten up all those harnesses, you'll be able to reach. Usually your tree's not too wide, so from one side or the other, you're going to be able to grab your steps or something to get back. Or you usually got a cell phone in a pocket, right?
Right. And I'm just trying to think back to some fall arrest stuff I've done. I believe it's like 12 minutes you have from a recovery standpoint, is it not?
It doesn't take long. You want to have that stuff fit. And there's those things you can do like from your fall arrest courses as well. Have that string that you can put around your feet and hook up to take the weight off and all those things. But
well, the great news about this topic is I've officially confirmed I will not be climbing trees when I decide to go hunting.
Yeah. That's why keep your harness high so it's pretty much tight when you sit down. Like have a little comfort zone but not much. So if you do follow your stand, you're going to be right beside it.
Right.
And you're just going to go like this, crawl back in it. But if you have that slack, you have that drop till you hit something. It's not like an industrial harness where you have your shock absorber.
Right.
It's tight. So keep it as high as possible and get a 4-point harness. And it's just so much more comfortable and it's way safer.
What are we talking for like a tree stand height? Are you like 10, 12 feet, Lisa? Or?
Depends. Last year when I was hunting whitetail, I was up about 22 feet.
I'm out. I am out. I'm in roofing. I'm scared of heights. I am not sitting in a tree stand 20 feet in the air. You, lady, are officially crazy. We've 20 feet?
Yeah.
Mitch, please tell me you're not going 20 feet.
No, I got to be 20 feet at least. My dad hates it. He just hates going to 20 feet.
You're both crazy.
But
and especially when you look at the little tree stand that you're going to sit in, like, I mean, it's just enough for your butt really, and your feet. That's it.
Yeah, there's some words that come right after E that will tell you exactly what I think about this situation. There is not a hope in hell you're getting me up 20 feet to go hunting. Not to mention, how did you had a bow problem with a deer you've been hunting for 4 years and you're 20 feet in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got, there's certain things being that high. Like if you're lower, they can get your scent better. So you want to get a little higher so you hit that different airflow and it'll take it farther away. There's so many aspects to bow hunting, it's ridiculous.
And that's honestly why I had to go over 20 feet, is because if there was any chance of getting this buck, I needed to be right out of scent zone. Or as best I could.
Now at 20 feet, and you said like that one buck was about 13 yards out. What does that do for your target range? Because that must change the game considerably, right? Like you don't have a wide area for a target.
No, that's the thrill of bow hunting, I guess, right? And practicing that ahead of time. I mean, before you said how to be prepared, I mean, it's learning how to shoot from those different angles with different layers of clothing on in different weather conditions, right? I mean, sure, it might be a big, beautiful blue sky day, but that wind is crazy. I mean, you have to realize that where you are might not necessarily be the same speed or the same type of wind as what's down at the ground. You know, there's right, Mitch?
I missed the muley. Last muley I shot at 60 yards. I was like behind a hill. Then he was down in this little creek. I'll just like send it. I'm like, oh, perfect release. And I just watched the arrow go as soon as it gets past that hill right in front of him. Ooh.
Wow.
Heartbreaker.
No.
I really need to start learning more about this, but I don't think it's a sport that I have enough talent to get into. I would much rather just flip the bail and cast her out.
That's kind of like bow hunting. You just release and let her fly.
Yeah. And there's wind too, so don't cast into the wind.
Yeah, but I don't do it from 20 feet up a tree stand. Are you kidding me right now?
You've never casted off a cliff to hit that hole? Then when you do, you jump off the side and just slide down till you get there?
Scared of heights, number one. Can't swim, number two. 6'6", number three. What do you think of any part of this would involve me standing off a cliff?
You should ask anywhere. Jared, when we're bull fishing the Red Deer River, the upper, and I hooked into this bull. I jumped off this cliff, landed on this one, and got back down to another one just to land this bull trout.
Yeah, no, you're crazy.
Hello, Jared.
What about rules with tree stands? I know. Well, actually, we're over an hour now because I'm just getting intrigued. We will end the show in a minute. Scents. You mentioned scents. As far as setting up tree stands, are you allowed to set up your tree stand ahead of time? Is there any rule or regulation where you're not allowed to do that? How do you prevent that thing scent-wise from making too much contact where it would scare off good opportunity like that?
Mitch, me? Well, for myself, so I know the rule is, once hunting season is done, you have to take your stand down there. That's pretty clear. But before hunting season, during hunting season, if I'm going to set up a tree stand, or I'm going to move my tree stand from point A to point B, then I usually give it a good 2 days, maybe even 3, before I'll go and actually hunt it. And for a couple of reasons. One is scent. 2, I've made a lot of noise. Just want everything to calm down. I don't want to go back in there and put that pressure on. They probably already felt my pressure and my existence. So just leave the area alone and come back later.
Right. Mitch?
I believe on public land, there is no time you can leave that because it's public land. Or not, sorry, on private land, you can set up your tree stand and leave it. But don't quote me on that. I don't hunt private land. And bear baits, you can literally set up your bait 2 weeks before the month or the season opens, so you can go set up everything before that.
Yep.
Yes, correct.
As soon as you have to have your stuff out before the season ends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For bear hunting.
If someone here knows in the chat, please answer. But I'm pretty sure even on private land, at the end of the season, you have to remove your stand.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I guess I need to start reading my hunting regulations because it's hunting month here at On the Other Line Canada. Lisa, I want to thank you for joining the show. The one topic I didn't get to, which maybe we have to have you back a third time because you're not bored of us yet, is you mentioned the solo trip in 8 days. I couldn't do it. Did you have cell service in 8 days?
No.
Okay, I'm definitely not doing that as well. I have learned that hunting is not my thing because you two are too hardcore. Lisa, where can people follow you on social media or reach out to you?
On social media, so Instagram, it's Alberta Roper Girl. And on Facebook, it is Lisa Roper Outdoors. And I have a YouTube and a website as well, which is the same, Lisa Roper Outdoors.
Amazing. And we put up the vote for the competition on our page this evening. Everyone go check that out. Speaking of the page, we're only 11 page likes away from 600, which means the Little Johns have a nice gift for us. Get it to 600. Mitch, where can't people find you?
Where they can't find me?
Yeah. Only Fish? Do you have an Only Fish page yet?
I don't think so.
We can't find you on Only Fish. Where can they find you?
Find me at Northwest Adventures these days. I'm going to be deleting all my other stuff right away because I can't get it back. So Alberta Fishing Trips will be up soon again. And a new thing I'll be working on. So stay tuned.
I can't wait to hear that. You can find me at Living for Fishing, Not for Bow Hunting on Instagram. Lisa, thanks again for joining the show this week. I can't wait to have you back again. We'll do
Thank you guys for having me.
We'll do the after show. What would you say?
Thanks for coming, Lisa.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I learned way too much stuff. I'm in overload now. Next week, our second returning guest, Mr. Christopher James. For those of you that like to watch popcorn and watch naked people in the bush of Naked and Afraid. We'll see you all next week on our next episode of On the Other Line Canada. See you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.